This week's video is brought to you by Nimble, a lightweight 5e rule set on Kickstarter right now. I've had this channel for 3 years now, I think, and I've been terrified to do a game room tour for all of those 3 years because I've never felt like it's ready, and finally I've gotten it to a point that I'm not like totally embarrassed to show it off, so that's what we're doing this week. Welcome to the game room tour. Moi kaikki ja tervetuloa taas videossa or tata videossa. Finnish homies out there, can you let me know which one of those is correct? My name is Garmin, this is the Storycraft Society, and this week I'm gonna be taking you around my game room. I have a weird amount of pride in the game room that I have put together, and I don't think that it is like the craziest, most technologically advanced game room. I don't think it is the most immersive, although that will change. Stay tuned for the next video that's gonna come out here on the channel, but this game room has served me really well. I've been gaming for a long time, and this game room has definitely undergone a lot of changes, I believe almost exclusively for the better, but it is a little bit small. I have worked really hard to make it functional for me as a DM, for the games that I play, which are mostly tabletop role-playing games, but also board games and a little bit of wargaming. So with that said, let's dive into it. I'm gonna take you around and I'll show you what's what. So let's get started back here in my DMing area. So I run 2 MacBooks. This is my old one. I actually got this in 2009 when I was in college. And then that one has basically just aged over the years that all it's really able to do is run sound. I'll take a real quick second to talk about how I run my audio, and it's honestly super antiquated. So what I do is I run 2 programs. The first one that I run is a really super old version of iTunes, and then I have that separated in 2 playlists. So for example, I have Adventure, Adventure Dark, Adventure Upbeat. All of those are specifically used for cultivating a feel in my game. And then off to the side, I run QuickTime, and those are all of my basic atmospheric effects. So that's things like Snow Village or Small Marketplace or Rowdy Tavern. Super basic, but it works really well for me, and sometimes if I want ambience and no music, I can do that. If I want music and no ambience, I can do that. And it's very customizable that I can put the stuff that I want in it. I think that's actually my #1 issue with a lot of the other music D&D services out there. I can't put my own music into it, and that is, you know, kind of a deal breaker for me. Down under my table, you can see where I run my sound. That's my sound bar down under there, and all of the cables run up over there from my laptop. And then what I really like about having the sound bar under the table is it kind of diffuses the sound out into the room, so it doesn't feel like the sound is coming specifically from a speaker, but it just kind of feels atmospheric and it's all around us. And then for all of you audio nerds out there, it really tones down the high end, and the high end is usually the thing that seems to detract from the players talking to one another. The low stuff doesn't seem to get in the way, but the high stuff does. This, again, kills off just a little bit of that crispness in the high end, which lets the players talk a little easier and hear each other easier. So that's how I run my sound. And then this is my main DMing laptop. Now, what's funny about this laptop is this is actually the one that I started doing Storycraft Society stuff on back when I started the channel, but as the channel has grown, I've upgraded a little bit and I've gone to a better MacBook Pro. So this one has fallen into the role of exclusively my DM prep laptop, which is honestly just an absolute blessing. And between those two, that's how I keep all of my DMing stuff going. This being my note-taking and my character stat blocks and all that stuff behind the scenes. And then this one over here is obviously the audio. So back behind my screen, I've got a couple of things that are important. I keep a huge stack of all of my NPC and monster cards. These are things that are monsters that my PCs will fight, as well as important NPCs that my PCs will know and meet. I keep some paper. It's always good to have sketch paper behind the DMing setup, just in case you need to quickly take notes down and you don't want to forget something. Occasionally I'll keep a book or something under here. And then I always keep a player's handbook under there because no one ever knows the rules. That includes myself, by the way. Let's see, get rid of that. This is where I keep all of my DMing dice. You can never have too much, and then this is my dice tray. I have all of my condition markers and some extra cards of magic items that I can give out to my players. These are things that they might be able to find in more common places, that sort of thing. So I've got those there. I do keep some pens back here just in case. And then lastly, this is my remote to my audio system. And then these are the remotes to my lighting system, which we'll get to in a minute. I have actually a piece of neoprene mat. That's going to be what is my table topper there. And then down underneath here, I've got all of my rolled up frontline gaming mats. They're down underneath that bottom bit there. And then up on the top here, that's just kind of random storage. Things float in and out of there depending on what I need. I might put models down there if a fight is coming. I have a big, huge stack of magic items down there because my players are in a big city right now. So if they go to a magic item shop, that could be things that they could buy. So that is basically my DMing setup. Now let's move over. Actually, I think we'll move to miniatures next. Let's take a quick second to talk about this week's video sponsor, Nimble, a lightweight 5e rule set. So there's a reason that D&D has been described as 30 minutes of fun spread out over 4 hours, and that's because in basically every version of the game, there is a lot of noodly rule complexity that gets in the way of cinematic moments and tense things and all of the juice that at least gets me fired up to play 5e. Now, I'm not going to claim that any of this is perfect for everybody, but if you're one of those people who finds that your exciting cinematic moments are interrupted by things like wasted turns and dice rolling and unnecessary math, then Nimble is definitely a perfect solution for you to try. And the thing that I think Nimble does exceptionally well is all of their rules are set up into little modular chunks that you can slide into a game, try it, see what your group thinks, and either keep it or move on from there. You can take it as a full system overhaul if you want, but you also can take little nuggets that just fix one part of the game that particularly annoys you. Now, if this is something that definitely interests you, you should go over and check out their Kickstarter, where you can get the PDF of Nimble for only $4. You can get a physical book for only $7, which is really cool. They do have a $25 super bundle if that's something that you're interested in, all of which are incredibly affordable. It's hard for me to think of another Kickstarter that I've seen that at least I've been interested in that has had that low of a price point. Also, it's very worth mentioning that the day this video comes out, I think there is only 1 day left on the Nimble Kickstarter. So you're gonna want to definitely jump over there and take a look at that today if that's something that you're interested in. But in my opinion, again, talking about that specific price point, for this 20-page booklet, that's just so easy that you can get it and see if any of the rules in there jump out to you as fixing something that you don't like. I cannot say thank you enough to Nimble for sponsoring this month's worth of videos. It means an absolute ton. The best way that you can say thank you to them for helping us out is to just go check their stuff out and share that with a friend that you think would enjoy it. And obviously, I left a link down in the description below if you want to go check that out. But with that said, let's get back to the video. So now for my models, I have these glass storage cabinets that were just part of this room. This was the house's dining room before I decided to abduct it and turn it into a game room. But these work out really well because it keeps the dust and stuff off of my models. But I still am able to see in, even when the glass is closed, so that I can know what models are where. I do my best to spread them all out in type. So like all of those guys are together, and then all that is goblins, just various different types, except for the kobolds on the far end down there. Then these are generic martial NPCs and generic spellcasting NPCs, both of which obviously can be used for character models if necessary, monsters and that sort of thing, general townsfolk models. All of my cultists go up there. And then moving over here, we have more monstrous minis And then of course up to my big super tall models up there. But that is how I store miniatures. I do have a stack of spell effects down here. I like to keep those out down here because when I turn around and I'm running stuff out on the game table and a player casts a spell effect or a bad guy casts a spell effect, I like to have these quick at my fingertips. But let's move on to this table next. So now this table is off to the side of my DMing area. And what I really like about this table is this was actually what I was using as my DMing surface before I got this little stand here. And the fact that this fit in this well and that tight is just such an awesome thing. I mean, look, it's like literally touching right here, which is crazy. So what do I have over here? Well, on the shelving back here, I've got a bunch of honestly like catch-all type things. This is stacks of paper that I have from other games that I've been running. Those are bags of Olivia's dice and a little dice tower that she just uses every once in a while. Old maps. Back in there, I also have my little health potion props that I made. That's what I like about this area. Yeah, it's not exactly the cleanest area, but it is a cool catch-all that I can put important things that I need. But the main two things, I guess I should say, the main two things that are in this area that I love and use the heck out of is one, I have all of my stacks of maps. I have so many maps that I use in the various games that I run. So I keep a huge stack of the ones that aren't up on the wall. I do use command strips and put different ones up on the wall depending on what I am using for the current game that I'm in. And actually what's really funny is this one is my little coast map, which is where my current game is taking place. And the whole reason that this one is down off of the thing here is I'm actually thinking I'm gonna print this one out in a really, really big size and then move that up onto the wall over there because I'm tired of having to deal with the littler copy. I love my stack of maps. And then secondly, down here, I have these Tupperware containers and they hold all of my dungeon tiles. So anytime I am needing dungeon tiles, I can pull them out from down here. I have them organized by type and that works, I mean, honestly, really, really well. They used to be up here. And then I needed the space for miniatures, so that ended up there. Now we're gonna walk past my epic Tracina map and then come over to this whole area. So people who've been watching the channel for a while know that I put these cool IKEA shelving units in to house all of my terrain as well as my books and some of my crafting supplies, honestly. I was a little nervous to talk about until I knew for a fact how I felt about it, but it is amazing. This is the best terrain storage solution that I have had. It is a little frustrating that it's starting to get filled up again. That is just unfortunately what happens when you are a terrain crafter. So in here, I've got all of my green hills and farm fields. Underneath that, I have the remainder of my cliff stackers. Then I have all of my D&D books, and then some random other books and that sort of thing. Some DMing binders from old campaigns that I ran. All these shelves, or drawers I should say, these are all knickknacks and small scatter terrain props. I really like this because it basically makes that I don't have to worry about storing rocks somewhere is just annoying. This, I think, is a lot more functional of a solution. If I'm going to be totally honest, the only thing that I maybe would change about this whole setup is that I think I wish I maybe wouldn't have done my books down there and I would have done another whole chunk of these. So then that section there would be more of these, giving me another 10 of those drawers. But that's something that theoretically I could still do in the future. In here, I have all of my ruins. And then lastly, I have my big pieces of ruins that are more like set pieces, and Cragmaw Castle is down there too. Honorable mentions, I keep a whole bunch of my craft foam right there. That's the dollar store stuff with the peel back paper. I have the ship up there. I have the 3D map that I made of South Central Tracina up there, which is nice. I have my aluminum play button that Drew made me forever ago. And then here is where I keep all of my current campaign miniatures. So these are my player characters right there. All right, wrapping around, we have my wall of current art and maps that are up. There's Chris Rodden and Northwood and Pullman. I have a cool bit of art up there that is just fun little flavor text for people who get to play here. That is so much fun for me. And I kind of change these in and out depending on what game I'm playing. I used to have a Three Kingdoms map up there when I was playing up in the Three Kingdoms. And now that my main games are happening all around Bodorangora, obviously all of these towns are from Bodorangora. There's really only one other place that I can take you for this video, and that is going to be on top of my awesome gaming table here. So many uncountable hours of amazing gaming has taken place right here, and there is just nothing that I can do other than be super nostalgic about that. But with that said, the one thing that I didn't talk about, I guess, in this video is my amazing lighting setup. With the actual filming lights, I don't know how much of the blue that you can see, but I promise you it will basically flood this whole room with either blue light, or if I want red light, I can do that, and that helps to make the gaming so much more atmospheric and in the moment. But definitely let me know in the comments what you think. What can I do to make this space more efficient? I'm always thinking about that, but also immersiveness. And like I said, if you're interested in how I could potentially make this game room more immersive, definitely stay tuned for next week, because that will, that's what my video is for next week. So if you enjoyed this video, definitely do all of the YouTube stuff, like subscribe to the channel, leave me a like down below. The number one way that you can help any small YouTube channel out is to share their video with a friend that you think would enjoy it. So if you know somebody who would enjoy seeing a, pretty cool game room, definitely share this video with them. But that is all I have for this week. So until next week, moika. I just checked the footage and it didn't show off what the lights do at all. So here is your, obviously the lights, they make it fun.